Now, All Things Real Estate continues on Full Service Radio, 830 WCRN. Once again, here's your hosts, Gary Kelly and Brad Avergon.
Good morning and welcome to All Things Real Estate. I'm Gary Kelly.
And I'm Brad Avergon.
Brad, we are sitting here today at the top of French Hill.
High atop French Hill, Gary.
In Marlboro,
Beautiful
Massachusetts.
downtown Marlboro,
Why?
Massachusetts.
We're trying to get the audio right and everything right. You've been working from your office. This is my home office, but we're 6 feet apart.
We are.
So we're practicing safe radio.
Safe radio. Safe social distancing radio.
And
you're even further than 6 feet apart from us.
Who do you work for?
I work for Vision Bank and Mortgage. And you,
Really?
Gary?
I'm with Remax Executive Realty.
Wonderful.
So, Brad, one of the things I wanted to talk about as part of our All Things Real Estate show is something I've been seeing a lot lately. People put in an offer on a home, okay? And let's say that they get it accepted. Yay! We all get excited. We're all thrilled and all that stuff. And then what? And then they decide, I want to shop rate on mortgages.
Right.
And at some level, that kind of bothers me. And one of the reasons it bothers me is that you started down the path with someone, they gave you a pre-approval, they've looked at some of your numbers, and now you're going to shop something.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, you're not going to get everyone, all the mortgage companies, banks, etc., their rate that they borrow is kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like buying a car. If you want to focus on payment, they'll make the numbers work for payment. If they want to focus on term, they'll make the numbers work for term.
Exactly.
So how do you go about making sure that you're addressing the thing that a buyer wants? And doing so in a way that is obviously the bank has to make some money,
Right.
but also you meet the consumer, because a lot of times people will say, "Oh, you know, I saw an online rate. It was a great rate."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, who cares? What are you paying for fees? What are you paying for prepaids, etc.?
Yeah. So it's a great question, Gary, and it's one that actually comes up often. The situation with most clients is as you said, it's all well and good. They're out there shopping and services is at a premium, right? I need a pre-approval letter today. I need a pre-approval letter tomorrow. Educate me on what the process is, all of this stuff. And then once they get the home under agreement, they're like, well, now we've got to get the cheapest possible rate in town. And I'll be candid with you out there. There's a lot of online lenders that have become masters at marketing it because they understand there's no relationship there. They understand the consumer is going on bankrate.com or any other website or a lending tree, and they're going to play the rate game. And so they're going to put their best foot forward to get that phone rate. And what that means sometimes is putting in a nice little teaser rate. I've had more than one situation where I've had clients actually, they were getting pre-approval and they want to check rates, which is fine. It's perfectly acceptable. But they go out online and they see this really attractive rate, almost too good to be true. Great rate. And they say,
Does the old adage, if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be
it's
true?
too good to be true. It usually is. In this particular case, I've always encouraged the client to say, look, don't take somebody's verbal on it. If you call in to 1-800, let's call it 1-800-Mortgage, they're gonna sell you, they're trained to sell you on two things. One, to hook you based on the interest rate. So the lowest interest rate that they can quote you is what they're gonna quote you. Then they're gonna say the payment will be X. They're selling it more like a car oftentimes than they are the holistic picture, which is what I look at. What's it going to cost you in fees? How's it going to be? How is it going to affect your lifestyle, so forth and so on. So they're going to oftentimes build in points, what's called discount points or different fees into the closing costs. But once those are amortized over 30 years, you don't really see them that much. And so it's very, very important that clients get these things in writing. The other thing is to really give careful thought to what you're looking for. This is in most cases, this is the largest investment of your lifetime. And what you have to understand is that there's a lot more riding on this than just an extra couple $100 in closing costs. You're talking about your down payment money. You're talking about your ability to close on time, that the funds are going to be there, that the information that you're getting from your loan officer is exactly what you're going to be seeing at the closing. Those are really important things. Quite candidly, if you buy into a process and you have no relationship with that loan officer, and they didn't come for referral, you found them online, or somehow you came across them. Maybe you went to a service like a lending tree or something like that. There's no relationship there. Whether you are happy at the closing or you're not happy at the closing, it really doesn't matter, because there's 1,000 other people right behind you that are applying. And so you get to the closing table, if things are not like what you were led to believe, there's not a lot you can do about it at that point. You have to close the loan or you're going to lose your deposit. So having that is very, very important. Part of it is having that counsel, having that person to take stress away. And what I phone number on my business card is my cell phone. So I'm clients who used to talk to me nights, weekends sometimes, and my job is to get it done and take the stress off of them. Get it done, take the stress off them. Let me give you a quick case in point. I had this is the holiday weekend that just passed. I know I'm not supposed to date anything here, but this was the holiday weekend just passed. I had a client and the price came in late.
It's October 13th at the top of French Hill.
The client's appraisal came in, it's a purchase, came in late on Friday. I was able to work with my underwriters to get that appraisal underwritten and approved. Their mortgage contingency was Monday, it was Columbus Day. Somebody had missed that it was a holiday. To get it approved and to get them basically clear to close so that they didn't have to worry about that going into it. The realtor didn't have to do an extra extension. There was no question whether they were going to extend or not. Those types of things, 1-800-mortgage, I don't know that those things happen. You can't, is that loan officer going to come in on a weekend and do that? I don't know,
So how do you make, I get the personal relationship, and I've always suggested to clients, people buy from people.
Right.
Okay. How do you make sure that you're getting I'm not going to say good deal because that's very subjective. How do you make sure you're getting a fair deal overall?
I think, number one, understanding that we all, as lenders, we all sell into the same Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, even major investors, they're all generally in the same window. You're not going to see a drastic variance. You can check around with your local bank. That's always a good thing to do if you want to say, we're at my deposit, what we may be charging for a rate. And if the rate is more or less, that's a fair estimate if you're in the ballpark. Understanding that banks have their business model as well. You can do a online check if you want to, but understand that if you don't recognize the name of that lender, then
I think it's hard to know as a consumer what services are actually writing notes and what services are really just a referral thing that are going to give it to someone else in the background.
Well, that's a great question. So there's a lot of services that are advertising and marketing companies that where you fill in, if you see general information and you fill that in, your phone may start ringing from all these other lenders.
Exactly.
You don't know how long those lenders have been in business. You don't know how long that loan officers had experience doing what they do. Do they know what they're talking about, or are they just following screen prompts? They were working at an ice cream shop, 2 months ago. So, no, there's anything wrong with ice cream shops. I love ice cream. But the experience level, in what you're talking about, this big transaction, it makes a big difference whether things go well or whether things don't go well. Because you don't want to wait up that it goes to an underwriter and all of a sudden find out the loan officer wasn't sure what they were doing, they made a mistake,
right?
Or the processor didn't pick it up, or whatever. That person needs to have a lot of experience, because sometimes this can be a minor thing that can really hang you up or even break the deal. It seems meaningless, but it could make a difference.
So, Brad, I want to thank you for those insights. I want to ask people to stay tuned in for the second half of the show. If someone wants to reach you, how can they best reach you?
Best way to reach me is to call me on my cell, which is 978-375-5531, or you can email me at bavergon@envisionbank.com. That's BAVERGON at envisionbank.com. Gary, how about you?
I can be reached at 508-733-6005 or Gary at movewithgary.com, because if the real estate thing doesn't work, I'm going to go to the move. Thanks, everyone. Stay tuned.
You've been listening to All Things Real Estate on Full Service Radio, 830 WCRN.